Hey, welcome back, guys. Infamouz show. We got Flores producing. We got Infamouz Alex back from his trip. What's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up?
How was Las Vegas, bro?
Trying to recover, man. Trying to recover money wise and sleep wise, and you know how it goes. We'll go. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Damn, that's how you feeling?
Nah, I'm kidding. Nah, it was good. It was good. I actually didn't lose money. I made a little bit, but the first night, yeah, I kind of went overboard.
Let me borrow about 50.
I got you with a little 20.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. It was good. The only thing is, at the F1 whole setup, what's going on in Las Vegas. So there's a lot of stuff going on around the strip and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. So Formula One racing was there?
Yeah. So I was there last weekend, and they're actually racing this weekend. So they were setting up the grandstands in front of the Bellagio, and I went to the Sphere. Even around the Sphere, they had the seating and the stands, stuff like that. So
whoa! Let's talk about the Sphere, man. That's a new attraction in Vegas. What were your initial thoughts about that?
So if you haven't gone, I would say it's worth going. And the best way I could explain it, and I've been telling people that have been asking, if you guys know like Star Trek and all those kind of like you're in the what's it called that I guess not how do you say the where you're piloting the whole ship and you're looking at the stars and you're about to go into
like the cockpit
of it, and it has that feeling of you're in a spaceship and you're traveling through, because your view of everything is pretty much your peripheral and everything else, so you almost feel like you're traveling in a ship because the way that the camera work is done. There was one part I remember, it was like the Grand Canyon. And you could see, like, if you're looking up, you could see, like, the kind of like the rock work and stuff, because they're so low at the bottom. They went over the cliff, and the camera work just went down, and you almost feel like you're going down with it. So it almost feels like you're in a ship, But before the show, it's crazy. They have, like, some AI robots, like actual legit robots in the lobby that you're standing around them, and they're interacting with you. So you stand there, they're asking you, hey, how are you doing? What's your name? Alex. No, Alex, what brings you to Las Vegas? Like just interacting back and forth. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's worth it. If you guys are in Vegas, I would say check out the Sphere.
So is it kind of like a stadium inside, like? Or?
Oh, I would say more like it's not a stadium. I would say it's more like an orchestra type of thing. Like you have nothing but seating, in a kind of like an arc.
Is there like a stage?
Yeah, I guess like a little small stage at the bottom, but it's mostly like it's just the sound work. And even when you're in that little lobby, there's like a little area where they show you like the different, I guess, like the speaker systems they have set up. Because let's say if you stand in front of these speakers, you hear like the guitar solo. You move like 10 feet this way or 5 feet this way, you're hearing the bass.
Oh, like optical sound.
The optical sounds. So they were just kind of showing you like how they're just on the audio, just innovative, And even throughout the whole, because it's called A Postcard from Earth. And even whenever you're watching all that, a bird flies here, like you hear it like it's right next to you, like, the little wings, whatever. So
it's like a 4D experience.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So
8D, bro. What you mean?
So yeah, it's a little stage at the bottom. I think it's like the little speaker stuff like that set up. They said that you could smell like like if you're in the forest, they'll give you like a smell and stuff. I couldn't really tell, to be honest with you. So that I kind of didn't get too much, but for sure on the audio and the visual, it's worth it. It's worth it. But yeah, it's a whole like sphere inside. But
yeah, that's something I definitely want to check out. Yeah. I haven't been since that's been active. What else did you get into when you were out there?
I did the whole helicopter ride around the city.
Let's talk about that. You do it during the day or you did it at night? Or
I decided to do it at nighttime. Yeah, so it was pretty cool because and obviously like the Sphere. That's I'm telling you about the inside, and you guys probably seen it, on social media and stuff. The outside has his own little thing
LEDs
going on
everywhere.
Yeah, like literally like an emoji head goes around there once in a while, stuff like that. So yeah, on the helicopter ride, you see that, and since they were setting up the Formula One, I think the grandstand, they had like the F1 on top of the roof, and you could see it, once you're going around the helicopter. So that was pretty cool. You know, obviously went through the strip and stuff like that. So you saw like all the casinos lit up. You know, the MGM Grand, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I think it's worth it.
For sure, for
Yep.
sure. What about dining? Did you get anything good to eat?
Oh, bro. So I think you can't get any more fine dining. So I made a call before I went over there. Just like a kind of, you know, pretty renowned chef. You know, you guys know Gordon Ramsay.
Uncle Gordon,
Yeah,
bro?
so I gave him a call, told him I was going. Yeah, there you go, creme de la creme.
Theo Gordon.
No, but on all seriousness, when I went over there, I made reservations for Hell's Kitchen, and it was just crazy that honestly, I think I planned it kind of late because I couldn't do a dinner reservation. It was like a lunch reservation, and it just so happened that he was doing a show outside of Hell's Kitchen. He was there doing
that's
like an actual
crazy.
cooking show, you know, kind of like, you know, like those like you guys watch Hell's Kitchen. It's like a challenge they do out there like somewhere outside and they have like the whole kitchen set up. It was like that. So walking into the restaurant and he's literally walking in right before us. So I don't know if you could have timed it any better, but yeah, we were able to see him. And in my mind, I think he cooked my beef Wellington, and because that thing was delicious. And I decided to go with the beef Wellington because I watch the show and I always see him like, you know, just throw plates around and complain about the beef Wellington, and it's kind of like I think a staple for them. So, but yeah, it's definitely worth it. I mean, I've never had, I guess, a piece of steak that juicy and how you say it, tender, and I don't know. Yeah, it's for sure worth it. So, I mean, it's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, that's definitely a bucket list thing for me. I would love to go to Hell's Kitchen and try out Uncle Gordon's food.
Oh, and I mean everything that you know, even the little, what's it called, not the sides, but the little thing around the plates and stuff like that. I mean, it I don't like carrots. I was eating them carrots. You know, like
My boy said he licked the plate.
yeah. So it was worth it. So if you guys you know, are out there, I would recommend it for sure.
That's what's up. That's
For
what's
sure.
up. What about, you know, we know what Vegas was built on. Any gambling going on?
Well, that's the crazy part because I done lost like, you know, a good chunk of change my like second day because I guess this F1 was right around the corner. All the low bets and stuff like that or the minimums went up. So I was playing like $25 minimums, you know. So you lose a hand, you're 25. You know,
What game were you playing?
Oh, blackjack.
Blackjack.
Yeah, I got so I guess discouraged that I went to the roulette, and that was the worst thing I could do because yeah, I don't play the roulette like that. So the one time that I was getting tired because I was trying to go for, you know, the numbers and the corner and stuff like that, and I was trying to see, you know, the statistics on it, yada yada. The one time I was like, you know what, screw this, let me go black or red. It landed on I think double O's, like the green. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's a sign. Like, let me get out of here. So yeah, they took my money the
That
first
lesson.
time. Yeah. Taught me
Know when to quit.
a life lesson. Yeah, for sure. But I came back, and luckily, like, you know, blackjack, I think you advised me too. It's a better game your chance of winning is a little bit better.
You got the best odds of blackjack for sure.
Exactly. So I came back, and luckily the guy that was sitting on the table, he kind of knew what was going on. So, you know, I'm splitting stuff like that, and doubling down and yada yada. So yeah, I mean, I made my money back. I mean, I didn't make too much over it, but I didn't lose, so it's a win.
Yeah, definitely a
In
win.
Las Vegas, it is a win.
It's a win. So
Ain't no doubt about it. And for everybody, that was Alex's first time in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
So what
Yeah.
were your overall thoughts? How long were you there for?
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
hotel did you stay at?
Bellagio.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bellagio.
Yeah.
bro.
So yeah, it was fun. You know, pretty much visited all the hotels. You know, and it the best way to explain it is, you know how you get fish tanks and you put like little coral things here and there, and the fishes go here. It's just it has its own little ecosystem, stuff like that. Like you go to every little casino, and like there's so much stuff
Oh, it's
going
like its
on.
own, every casino is like its own city.
It's his own city,
Yeah.
and every bar, like let's say you're at a bar for 30 minutes, you could walk down, you know, 5 minutes or even inside the casino, like you're saying, somewhere else, and it's a whole completely different group of people, environment, and yada yada, you know. So and it's overwhelming. Even nighttime. I mean, those billboards. There's so much light coming from that city. It's just
And the
insane.
ladies.
Yeah, they walk around. Picture, stuff like that. So you got Bumblebee out there holding it down. I saw him. So yeah, I think Deadpool was out there. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things to see on the strip and stuff like that. So I mean, it's. I think everybody at least has to go there once to experience it. It's one of those things.
So overall, you would definitely go back.
Overall, yeah, I think I would.
What would you do different? Your second time?
There's some things that I didn't get to do. I just didn't have time. I went to Fremont.
Okay,
downtown
yeah.
Las Vegas. So that was pretty cool, but I didn't do the zip line thing.
Oh, you got to.
I know. I kind of missed out. I mean, and the thing is, when I went, it was like 40 degrees at nighttime, and I think it was like 60s in the daytime, so it wasn't bad. But yeah, nighttime was kind of chilly. So Fremont, yeah, I only went there like one night, so I didn't have a chance to do that. That's one thing I missed, and the Las Vegas sign. I completely forgot about that. Kind of get that picture in front of the Las Vegas sign.
Yeah.
So little stuff like that, but I feel like whenever I went, I talked to you, and luckily I did, because you really need an itinerary. Like, you need
For sure.
a plan going there. You can't just wing it, because then you're almost wasting time and you get distracted with different things. So definitely would go back and just kind of plan a little bit better things I didn't do.
No doubt, no doubt. Did you do any shows at nighttime?
No, because I think a few nights I was just on the casinos, and then when you're in the gambling, time goes like this.
They do that on purpose, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like 8, 9 p.m. or something. It's like 1 and 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just time goes by so quick, and obviously they're out there giving you free drinks and stuff like that, so they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, every bit of the casino is thought out for you to lose track of time, keep drinking, and keep gambling.
Yep. And I knew I was like, okay, you know what? Let me step away, because I'm playing blackjack, and whenever I started like not knowing how much I had, and the dealer was like, you got 17. Like I knew, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting there. Like I can't even do math, do a little simple math right now. So yeah, that's kind of like a sign to call it quits. So that happened a few times.
No, that's good that you knew and understood your limit, because some people they'll go ham right there, bro.
Oh yeah, and they'll hit up the ATM and it's like, I'm gonna win it back, and yeah. I mean, I'd rather take a small loss than a big loss. So
That's right.
it is what it is. At that point.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna get into tonight, man? What are we gonna talk about?
Well, I guess, before we kind of get into it, the main topic. I just kind of want to what's the word? Reiterate the whole giveaway. That whole 2024 Kawasaki KRT 636 giveaway. That I feel like we've been kind of announcing it for the last few videos. I feel like we kind of should touch base on it a little bit more here for the people that are interested in the podcast.
Okay.
But this is a brand new bike that we got for our channel, obviously, but it's a bike that is for you guys, the viewers, the people that are supporting us. Give you a chance to win this bike. It's not a 2010, 15, 8,000 mile bike. It's a brand new off the dealer 2024 brand new body style.
New gen.
Got the badass dash on it. I think to me it's probably the cleanest 600 out there right now. And it's a KRT. It's not just the regular, black or the white one with the gray or whatever. So, yeah, you guys have a very, very, very or a very, very big chance to win this. It's not a 1 out of 1,000, like you were saying. It's a 1 out of 200 chance if you get one.
That's
entry.
really, when you sit back and you think about that, that's really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
1 out of 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think I said in one of the other videos, if this would have came out when I started, I had a 7-year-old bike. This is a brand new bike. So why not? The odds are really, like you said, they're on you guys' favor. The holidays are coming up. Even if you don't ride, your girl or your man, they it's that time of year. Is that it's been been wanting a new bike. This could be it. This could be it. Because once those 200 slots are filled, that's it. So, and I think Full Res or you said we've been kind of getting good feedback and kind of good traction on those slots. So
Better than we thought.
yeah,
Sure.
For
yeah.
sure.
So
Way
yeah, I
better.
mean, I just want to touch on it because I mean I've been telling people and I think like I said the feedback on it, people are interested and it's a very good chance for anybody to be able to win it.
And you got to think 1 in 200. That's only if you grab one keychain.
Yeah.
You can grab 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Or 200.
Well, we don't have 200 left.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we kind of been. It's like Forrest said, these things have kind of been selling pretty good. Without us really pushing it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now we're
Yep.
going to start. Really promoting and pushing, and it could be gone. Within a month.
Yep.
This could be over.
Yep.
So definitely don't miss out, guys. This is a very, very big opportunity for you. And even let's say you never rode before, or you can always, it's your bike. You can do what you want. If you don't want to ride, you can always sell it. It's a brand new bike.
Mm-hmm.
So look at it like that too. It's got a good cash value.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, and I think I touched on this last time. Guys that have been on a 1000. Oh, I got a B4. I got this. This is a perfect track bike for almost any track.
Oh, no doubt.
So don't think just because you have a good 1000 cc, what I'm gonna do with 600. Take this as a track bike. I mean, this is a great track bike. I mean, I would rock this bike, on the track. So look at it like that. It's not just you over here got enough bikes. I don't need a 600. Why not?
Oh, dude, all of us have plenty of bikes. I'll still ride. You can ask these two guys. I'll still ride a 600 sometimes, some weekends, just to ride it because it's so much fun, and I feel like you can get more fundamentals done on a 600 than you can on a leader bike.
Yeah, 100%.
You can definitely brush up all your riding skills on a 6 versus because if you're not in the right gear on a 6, a leader bike, it'll compensate for a lot of mistakes in gearing. If you're in the wrong gear on a turn or whatever, you can't do that on a 600. You're in the wrong gear on a turn, bro. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. True. And it's crazy because I think we were talking about it last time. Like, this is my first 600 I ever wheelied on, and that goes to show to where I'm gonna do it on 1000, and I'm nervous doing it on a 600 because it's not as easy in my opinion to do it on 600. You don't have that cushion where you have all that power, And I was pretty impressed with myself. I ain't gonna lie, so. Little pat on the back right there,
Toot your own horn over here, bro. What?
Bro, I've never wheelied a 600. Yeah, no, straight up. I never wheeled a 600, and honestly, I didn't think I could.
That's what I mean when it goes back to your fundamentals. If you don't do a clutch up correctly on a 600, you're not powering.
Yep. Oh,
so,
exactly.
So you it's really, really good to learn on these 600s. All your fundamentals. So
correct. Yep.
Yeah, man. I think what so we touched on Alex going to Vegas, coming back. BMW Messiah Brett is still in Guatemala getting married. He should be coming back here in the next couple of days. And I talked to Big Clay Dog. He said, he's going to be making an appearance here in next weekend. So we should have the band back together here in a couple of days, which should be, it's always a lot of fun when we all get together. Yeah, man. What do we have planned, for us here?
For today's discussion, I feel like me and Full Red were talking about it. We want to do like a tire topic.
Okay.
To see what kind of tires we run, what we've ran in the past, kind of our own experience, stuff like that. I think a lot of people, at least for me, I've had a lot of conversations throughout the years. And tires for the street, I feel like a lot of people don't, when they're out there riding, they probably don't not pay too much attention, but don't think that the tires make a huge difference. If you're at the track, you could tell definitely, the tire difference. But in the street, maybe, Some guys are like, like I'm running the Q5s, I'm doing whatever, Dunlops. And I think as long as they're sport tires, you think they're good. But in my opinion, they still have their own plus and minuses and their own differences to themselves. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm biased. I'm Pirelli all the way. I've been Pirelli for the last 5 years. So I'm probably just, saying that for that reason. But
that's why you rode Angel GTs on your first track day?
oh, yeah. Since day one. But then sports touring tires, yeah. And then I didn't know they had Angel GTs too. I was looking into,
Oh, yeah.
to take a
ones,
Dakota.
bro. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
take a Dakota.
Boy, reliving a memory over here.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, honestly, so I've been riding Pirellis probably for the last 2016 or something. My last set of tires before that were Q3s. So whenever Q3s came out, probably 2015, 16, something like that, is whenever I started rocking the Pirellis, right after that. And I've been on Pirellis ever since. So,
let's touch on this, Alex. What advice do you have for a new rider that wants a tire, not too expensive, but can also give them the confidence of being sticky and holding them in a corner? They're not advanced yet. They're still learning, and they're not trying to drop $400 or $500 for a set of tires.
Well, to be honest, so I kind of, whenever I talk to people about tires, I kind of categorize in different things.
Okay.
Do you want longevity, or do you want performance? Because nowadays you could get a little bit of both, right? But I think they were sort of, like you're saying, a little bit more expensive tires because they have double, plies and stuff like that. But I kind of start from there. If you're like, hey, this is my daily, and I do corners every once in a while, but I need these to do 4,000 miles, then I'm probably going to advise them more like a sports touring tire or something like that, something to where they're getting that longevity.
S22, bro.
Yeah. No, not the S22s. S22s are sports touring? Or like they have longevity like that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, they probably do because the 21s, I think they were saying something like that. So I would kind of advise from there. If you want, hey, I want stickiness, a little bit longevity, yada yada, but I do corners, I do this, then I would start putting them more into like the RS 11 sound, I guess.
The new ones, yeah, RS.
Yeah, stuff like that, and it just depends on brands, right? To me, like let's say Dunlops. Now they have the Q5s. Okay. That would be more of.
So let's talk about the Q5s.
So the Q5s, I believe they just came out not too long ago, and if anything, before that were the Q4s and the Q3s. So I think when they first came out, they were great tires with the Q3s, and I think they just kind of been growing after that to maybe getting a little bit more longevity in the middle. And I think in the last 3-4 years, that's what most tire companies have gone and did. So
is that a dual compound tire?
If I'm not mistaken, probably Full Res could probably pull it up. I believe it has a little bit of both.
Okay.
And to be honest, whenever I think I saw the Q4s, a lot of people were going for the Q4s because of the stickiness, but the Q4s didn't have the longevity. So I think that's what they kind of did the switch up on the Q5s, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, they're pretty new. I want to say they came out this year. So I haven't had a chance really to ride them and stuff like that, but that's kind of where it just depends, like I said, what you're trying to do with them. I think what is the Pirellis even have stuff like that. You have the Rosso Corsa Force.
Rosso Force and then Rosso Corsa Force.
Yeah. So
what's the difference between the two?
Rossos all have one compound. It's like a hard compound like they'll last you a minute. And the Rosso Corsa, because of the Corsa, has the dual compound. So it has the Rosso compound with the Super Corsa
sides
on the sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Super Corsa is the sticky. If you guys have seen them, it's a little, I call it a little thunderbolt, little tread pattern. And that's usually what I'd be rocking on the streets and stuff like that. But yeah, those, to me, you're on rails. But depending on how you ride, and the thing is the weather too, nighttime riding. So, if you're doing a lot of daytime riding, 100-degree weather, 80, 90-degree weather, you're going to eat up tires, because the heat on the road and the heat of the tires, you're just going to burn that rubber. If you're doing nighttime riding, cooler riding, then they're going to last you a little bit longer. But you're still looking at 2,000, 2,500 miles.
For the rear tire.
So that's, and that's pushing it. I barely done 3,000 miles maybe, on the rear. So that kind of goes to show to where that's straight up performance.
And how much is a rear tire roughly on
Ooh, I want to say, I know for a set, and I get the hookup on this, but for a set, I'm looking at like $450.
Ooh.
If you buy it from like a dealer, you're looking at probably like $550 for sure. So that's not installation, that's just tires.
And you feel like that's the top of the line performance for the street?
For the street, I mean, I just, and another reason I rock with the Pirellis is because I used to do the Dunlops and stuff like that, and I feel like the Pirellis heat up quick, and that's what I like. Because I've run slicks on the street too, and even the slicks warm up quick. So that's kind of where I feel like you have more confidence on a tire. Even if they're a little cold or something, they're gonna kind of be reliable pretty quickly as soon as you get on the road. So that kind of goes a long way for me, at least. If you get stuck on the rain, I mean, it does get a little dicey. So that's the only other thing, like I mentioned. If you're doing a daily, then you need a tire that has more tread on it. You need those other tires that you'll be able to kind of get the rain and the water, the road kind of wicked away or something. The Pirellis could do that, but I wouldn't trust them. The sides don't have all the tread. So it's just a lot of, tread patterns, longevity, sport, and stuff like that I would touch on before, making that decision. Or at least people to look for before making a decision, and kind of go from there.
So what would be a good entry-level tire for new riders?
Well, like I mentioned, so first will be kind of brands, kind of go from there. And each brand would have the entry level. To me, let's say for the Pirellis would be the Rosso 4 Corsas. Would be more entry level because you have that longevity, and I think they're a little cheaper. For the Dunlops, I think you only have Q4s and Q5s. I don't think there's any entry level there. For the Bridgestones, I want to say the Bridgestones.
There's a Q3s, right?
Yeah, but I think they're
like super outdated.
Yeah, they're outdated now. Yeah. And then for the Bridgestones, I believe what are the Battle Axe? Yeah, the
S22s,
S22s,
and RS11s.
Yeah, those will be it. So I believe between those, the 22s, like he was saying, are more sticky, stuff like that. Oh, sorry, more longevity. The RS11s are more, performance. So just kind of go through there. And then even, what did the S1K come on? Metzler's. The the Race Tech.
The Race Tech.
Yeah, RRK3.
And that was actually a pretty good tire. That was my first experience with Metzler's, and I enjoyed them. They were developed by an Aleman rider, and they're pretty decent. I really did like. I was surprised at how sticky they were. They didn't last worth the fuck, but they did give me confidence in the turns.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I was surprised too because when I first, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, before they were coming out with Pirellis. I feel like Ducati's always coming with Pirellis too, So when I saw the Metzlers, yeah, that was my first time experiencing those, and I mean, you're right. I feel like they're good street tires. Take them to the track. I don't know, how well they would do. So to me, if you want to try Metzlers, yeah, I would advise them. But like you said, longevity's not gonna. They're not going to get you more than or further than the Pirellis, I would say. I think they'll probably be the same, But to be honest, we've had those, and tire size is another big thing too, right? So when you're looking at tires, your front's pretty much always going to be the same. It's going to be 120/70. 120/70/17, I believe. But your rear plays a huge importance, just because you're looking at the stickiness of the tire and all this good stuff, but the sizing matters on the turns. You have more of that, I guess, the not the sidewall, but you have more rubber to go on if you're doing all these little leans and stuff like that with a taller tire than a smaller tire. And if you're on a 600 to a 1000, that's another tire size as well. Not rim size, but tire size. Let's say for a 600, you're looking at 180s, 55. I believe even sometimes they'd be trying to put 190/50s, but I think that's a little bit too much for a 600. But you always want to go like a 180/55. I don't know. We need to check on that on the CX6, but I believe they started coming out with those 180/55s, just like the 1000s back in the day. they were doing 190/50s. We had to do 190/55s and upgrade from there.
Yeah.
Now they're coming with 255. You know, or
pretty much standard.
Pretty much standard now.
Yeah.
So the tire sizing has just gone up and up on these bikes to where I was running 200s, but you know,
by sizes you mean like taller, right?
Yeah. So a 200 is your tire width, and the 55 and 65 is your tire height. So let's say, and it's a percentage of it, pretty much. I don't know how it works. I off the top of my head, but I think like 55 is like 55% of 200 or something is how you're getting that tallness. But if you're already at a 255 compared to a 190/55, obviously the 200 is going to be a little taller because it's a little wider. But you always want a taller tire. A taller tire gives you more I guess, rubber when you're leaning. More contact on the road. And you'll start seeing, let's say, because a lot of times, you know, people are like, oh man, my chicken strips and they're good. And they're right on the edge. Well, that's cool. But you're running on a 180/50. Or 190/50. It's like, yeah, but you know, you're
maxing out that
you're
tire.
maxing out that tire.
Yeah.
You need to go up. You know, just and you know, it's just everybody's comfortability level, yada yada. But I mean, I would at least suggest that because it looks like you're already using that tire. You know, and a lot of times, you know, my 200, we have 260s now. The 260s is a huge tire. And sometimes, I mean, I get like a little, you know, discouraged whenever I still see chicken strips, but I'm on a 260 tire on the street. You know, if I have an inch chicken strip, then it is what it is. It's a huge tire to get it all the way down. So, especially on the street. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of times you might see a little chicken strip, but hey, you run big tires, and you know what can you do?
Yeah, on 60 tires, you got to be doing maybe like 50-degree lean angles to use.
And
you
wear, you know,
85% of that tire.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I just do it, just thug it out. But a lot of these bikes, like I mentioned, they come with 255s anyway. So I'm not doing nothing outrageous anyways. The tire size is already there. So yeah, I mean that plays a huge role. So if you guys are watching, you know, if you see your chicken strips, and check out your tire size. If you're already on the edge and you're running on 50s, you know, 180/50s, 190/50s, whatever, think about going into a 55. You know, and see how you like that. You know, if you like the tires, how they feel, you know, how they act, then just go a little taller tire with the same tire. You know, it's what I would advise. And you know, I've had this conversation with a few people that just kind of pay attention and they're asking and stuff like that. So I think it's something that not that many people, like I mentioned, are aware or know.
Yeah. So besides Pirelli, which is your favorite tire?
Besides the Pirelli, so if I didn't,
we know you're a Pirelli guy. We know you're loyal to that brand. But let's say you can't buy Pirelli. What are you hopping on?
I would say I'll probably give. Yeah, I'll probably give the Q5s a chance, to be honest with you. Because one thing I look for is not to have any tread going all the way to the side of the tire. Yes, it sucks if you're in the rain because you're not wicking any water away. But if you're already on the side of the tire, I want all the rubber on there. You know, and that's why I really enjoy the Pirellis, because that Thunderbolt little design doesn't run all the way to the edge.
Right.
And I feel like the Q5s, if I'm not mistaken, they stop right before the edge as well. So, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I look for as well, you know. But other than that, I mean, I honestly haven't really ran any other like Michelin's or the Bridgestone. So I might just do the RS11s. I feel like RS11s are pretty nice too. Everybody kind of vibes with them. So
yeah,
that's what I'll probably do. But that's the thing. Now I'm gonna be on the learning curve. I know what PSI to run on Pirellis.
So let's talk about that. So how do you determine what PSI to run for the tire you're running?
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've learned, right? So I feel like you have to be lower PSI on the rear if you're going to be doing turns, right? If you're going to be doing top speed, big end runs, then you want to go up on the PSI, because you don't want to burn that tire. Like you don't want to run so low, because then you're going to be getting that tire hot. You know, you need more air in that tire. So it's just, you got to see what you're trying to do. I mean, I wouldn't, if you're going to do a big end run a few times, I wouldn't sweat it too much. But if that's all the bike is for, then yeah, run a higher PSI on the tires. But for me, I kind of learned, I think I do like 28, 30 on the rear on the Pirellis, and then in the front I do it 32, 33. And I learned that I used to do like a little bit less on the front, but from what I understood, I guess since it's a soft compound, you don't want that tire to fold. So you want that pressure built on the front. So you want a little 32, 33 psi, so it has more pressure, and that tire, doesn't fold whenever it's on the side. But it go like I said, it'll be a learning curve for me because I know it's a soft compound. So for a Dunlops, for everything else, it might be a little different, because I think Dunlop's a little harder compound. So it'll be a learning curve, and all this is all through feedback of obviously you could ask people, that's the easiest thing, but the bike will tell you too. If you feel like it's not hooking on the rear, you probably run too much psi. You need that bigger contact. You gotta lower it. So it's just you gotta be on the bike and probably do a little research on that. But that's kind of what I've learned on the Pirellis. But I think that plays a huge role on, especially if you're doing the turns.
Right.
It's something that you have to either know or do, and if you do, you'll see the difference. You'll feel the difference.
So basically, you're saying I shouldn't run the same PSI if I'm running Pirelli versus running a Dunlop.
Yeah, prime example. I forgot what the Superbikes is what the Pirelli slick is, and I think I run 20. Man, it's been a whole minute. I think it's 24 psi on that on the rear.
Oh wow!
Right.
Is that a 65?
Oh yeah, that's a 265. Yeah, that's a big boy.
That's a man's tire right there.
Oh yeah, that's a huge tire. Yeah, no, it's tall. Yeah, it's super tall. But I was running the Dunlops, KR. Man, on the top of my head, I think it's like 448s, 451s. I can't remember what it was. Super hard compound tire. I'm running 18 psi in the rear, 20 psi in the rear.
You stunt riding?
Yeah.
Or what,
Oh yeah, bro. Just 1 o'clock, right? I believe it was 18, 20 psi. I can't really recall what it was, but I was running really, really low psi.
Why is that?
It's a harder compound. It's a harder compound. It's not really soft. It's really hard. So it'll take the low psi.
How does it feel?
Oh, I don't know. And that's why I'm Pirelli all the way, because Pirelli does me good on the street. It does me good at the track. Like that Dunlop, I did not trust it. Like maybe I didn't get it warm enough, and even when you go to the track, the tire warmers play a huge role. And yada, yada. So I didn't have a good experience with them. Nothing against them. I still have to figure them out a little bit further. But it just goes to show that that's a huge difference in PSI on two different brands. Just because of the material of the tire.
So let me ask you this: do you run your Pirelli slick the same PSI as you run your Pirelli street tire?
No, I run a little bit higher PSI.
On what?
On the slick. Yeah, on the slick.
Higher PSI.
Higher PSI. Yeah, just because I feel like I don't want to run it too low, because I feel like once it's hot, it's hot. It's a very soft compound tire because I'm running SC0s. So for Pirellis, they still, even though you're running the same, the same tire, they have softness on the rubber themselves. So even though, let's say you have a Super Corsa, right?
Okay.
With the Thunderbolts or yada yada, you still have a SE3, SE2, SE1, SP. So it's
what's the difference between those four?
Softer and harder rubber.
So one lasts longer than the other.
Yeah, one lasts longer, yeah. So that's why I think for the slicks, I'm running SE0s, SE1s, where it's softer compound. But I run the slick on the street. JD's been running slick on the street, and they've done us good. But you always got to be mindful. They obviously don't warm up like a regular street tire. But that's another reason why we do those big end runs. I don't want to build so much heat on that tire. It's a big tire, and you're doing 200 mile an hour. It's going to build a lot of heat.
So let me ask you this: what's the longevity on a slick on the street?
Most of them, honestly. So whenever I kind of get a slick, I don't get the slick for the street. It's like a takeoff that I've done at the track. So it's hard to say. It has a lot of track use. So the sides are going to be eaten up and stuff like that. It just depends on how much I abuse that tire at the track. So I would say maybe 1,500 miles. 1,200 miles.
That's still not bad.
It's not bad. But
and how many sessions you would think you would do on that tire new?
I would say probably 2 days for sure. I think.
Oh, that's pretty good. And how much does that tire cost new?
I I want to say it's probably running about the same as the Super Corsas, or maybe just a tad bit cheaper. Just a tad bit cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're probably looking at maybe, like I said, either the same or maybe like $50, $80 cheaper. if I'm not
Nothing
mistaken.
significant.
Yeah, nothing significant. But it's been a whole minute since I bought those slicks, so price have gone up dramatically. I bought a slick of Pirellis. I want to say Super Corsa. Sorry. Probably beginning of this year, sometime, and I tried to buy the same set. I think they've gone up like $40.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
So yeah, I mean, it's just hard to say with prices right now, how things are and stuff like that. So, but like I mentioned, I get a good, I kind of have a hookup, here in the city with P1. So
Shout out to P1,
yeah,
to John over there
to
holding
John,
it down.
Yeah, so he's a really like pretty much a Pirelli, what is it, distributor, out here.
And he also does great suspension work.
Exactly. Yeah, John's a great guy. So he really hooks it up and helps me out on that one. Well, pretty much all of us, because that's where all the Pirellis come from.
Yeah.
For all these bikes. So, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I would kind of suggest, as far as the slicks and the PSI, yada yada.
Anything new coming out that kind of caught your eye or caught your attention?
I mean, and that's why when you asked me what would I run,
Mhm.
the Q5, that's kind of what caught my attention. Like I said, the RS11's been out there for a minute.
Yeah,
I
it's an
think
older tire.
It's an older tire. The what was it? The S22's been out there. The other ones, I think it's with the Power Cups. I think they replaced the Power RSs. So I think those are kind of new, but I never really enjoyed them, to be honest. I feel like they never.
You don't like Michelin? Or?
No,
That's more of like a roll racing tire, isn't it?
Well, yeah. When I kind of got into the roll racing thing, that's what they were running, the Power RSs,
Right.
which I believe they changed to the Power Cups now, or the Power GPs or something. I can't remember. But now they're running. Went from the Power RSs for the roll racing, then they would switch to the Q4s. So I think they've been running the Q4s for a minute. I don't know if they're now running the Q5s, or I don't know what they're running now. It's been a whole minute, but I think to me, I never had any good feedback with those Power RSs type of tires. So yeah, I think it would be more of the Q5s. It's what I'd be more interested in.
Now, let me ask you this. What if you're running, like some of our bikes do have carbon wheels? Does that make a difference what kind of tire you run?
So
Because we know carbon, it'll crack on you now.
Yeah, and we've been blessed, to be honest. Luckily this table's made out of wood.
Shout out to carbon fiber.
I feel like we've been blessed with all pretty much. What was it? The BMWs for the most part. We've been running the carbon wheels. But I try not to think about it because it could happen, and we are running kind of a little lower on the PSI. I would feel we're running a little softer compound. But for the most part, I'm glad we do more of that. I like kind of freeway riding,
right?
Kind of staying away from the potholes, because I would say, we're running a softer compound. Yes, we're running lower PSI, where our probability of cracking or something happening to the wheel is a little higher. But we've been, like I said, I knocked on the wood for a reason. We've been kind of lucky that we haven't had any issues.
Right.
And we've been running stock carbon and aftermarket carbon, from even BSTs and rotoboxes. And I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think all of those carbon wheels been on Pirellis. I don't think we've had a carbon wheel that's... We
had the Mona came on Metzler's on carbon wheels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say, it's it should be in the back of your head. I feel like every time I'm on those bikes, I know I'm on carbon wheels to where I'm really paying more attention on the road, obviously. But I want to say our freeways are here aren't too bad. So, I think we kind of avoid that problem because of that. But yeah, if you're doing more of that street riding, you're going to come up to a pothole. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, honestly, even lightweight, like let's say like the HP wheels that come on the bike, those could bend too, So it's
for sure.
It just happens, It's just part of it.
So let's talk for a second about some aftermarket carbon wheels. We got the two heavyweights that are obviously going to be BST and Rotobox. Which do you prefer? Which do you rock with?
So, and it's been a whole minute now that you mentioned it. I know initially Oh man, I could probably got this backwards. One of them had the actual wire for the kind of like reinforcing the actual what's it called? Like not the lip, but I guess like where the tire seals it. I want to say that was what BSTs or was it Rotobox?
I think it's Rotobox.
Yeah, Rotobox had that wire, so I feel like I was more biased because of that kind of like more reinforced. And Rotobox has those boost wheels. You know,
The booster clean.
Yeah, I like the 5 spoke design, stuff like that. So, and to be honest, I want to say, you know, you could really customize the wheels with colors and stuff like that. But I mean, the BSTs aren't bad. I believe the BSTs have the one that something tech, the one that you could
Rapid Tech.
You could change out the hub and change it to different tires. So that's
Right.
pretty cool too. So it just depends. You know, I think we've had both. I don't think as far as build quality, I think they both are good. It's just from there, it just kind of looks. You know, I think what the Bullet came out with for the was that the BSTs?
No, Rotobox.
Oh, those Rotobox. Yeah, Rotobox bullets. Yeah, I think those are clean. I ain't gonna lie, I get a little nervous on those because it's a thin.
Well, it's the lightest weight BST wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, lightest weight carbon wheel.
Yeah. So, but if you see it, they're very, very thin spokes. So, yeah, I'll probably get a little bit nervous on those, just because I mean, I really, I feel like there's a lot of weight on that rear wheel. You know, with the bike in the air.
Yeah, and you slam the front end down all the time too.
Yeah, bro.
So
Yeah. Just
blow them forks out.
That's why they're leaking.
Yeah.
Nah. Try to land as soft as I can, but yeah. I mean, that's kind of would be in the back of my head, you know, with those bullets. But other than that, I mean, I think the other ones are good. I like the other design too, because I think it was like a 5-spoke too, but it's like a double 5-spoke.
Yeah, the Rapid Tech.
Yeah. So
Yeah. As far as customizability, I mean, it's Rotobox all the way.
Yeah.
You can customize those wheels. You know,
the stickers, the
oh
colors,
my goodness.
the valve stem,
everything,
yeah.
color. You can have them 2 colors. You can have
yeah.
one side of the wheel carbon,
Yeah.
and then one side of the wheel a different color.
Right.
Make the lip a different color.
Right.
It's I mean, it's not cheap, but it's definitely very, very cool. I mean, it takes a while. I believe the wait on them is 8 weeks once you customize them.
Yeah.
But you definitely can have something very unique that you're not going to see the next person rocking.
Correct. Yep.
You know, and that's why I'm kind of, team Rotobox.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
You know, they've never let me down. I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed or not. We're currently running the boost wheels on Mona.
Yeah.
You know,
full carbon S1K with blue boost wheels. You know, it's super clean, and it's crazy because even though it's the blue is like a darker blue, people still notice. People, I mean, you can still tell like, oh man, that's how'd you do that? You know, it's how'd you put the blue on the carbon? Because you can still see the carbon, you can see the color and everything. So yeah, it's a clean, it's subtle, but it's a clean look. You know, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think people's kind of ease of mind. I would just say, hey, look, if you're too worried about it, I would just go with other lightweight wheels, like the OC Racing, stuff like that. Marchini wheels, stuff like that. If you're really worried about it. If you want the look, if you want the lightweight and everything else, I mean, I don't think you could go around, without doing carbon.
So let's talk about the ceramic bearings a little bit. What do those do?
So if you guys pretty much ever spin the wheel, let's say you have it on a stand and then you spin the wheel on the axle, the ceramic bearings kind of create that less friction, I guess, for the wheel. It's a little bit, it's an upgrade that you could do on aftermarket wheels. You could add those. I mean, honestly, you could do it on any wheel, essentially. But if you're already doing lightweight wheels, carbon wheels, whatever it could be, it's almost, honestly, it's a 50-50. People say yes, people say no. But you're already there. I would just go with ceramic bearings. And like I said, it's just they just like more
less friction,
and more. The wheel is going
rotational
spin
mass.
More freely. Yeah, it spins more freely around the axle. With less friction. So I feel like you're already there. Go all the way and do the ceramic bearings. Because and honestly. Another big thing is floating rotors. If you're gonna go all the way, because
so talk about those. What's the advantages of floating rotors?
Pretty much. I mean, like your rotors aren't fixed. they're more like and you'll be able to move them. You could be able to shake them, but it kind of how would I say it? It kind of prevents them from being or getting the friction from the pads, so they move more freely. So literally, if you have floating rotors and ceramic bearings compared to a bike that does not have ceramic rotors and ceramic bearings that doesn't have floating rotors, if you spin both wheels, oh yeah, that one's probably gonna spin like at least 15 more times around than the other one. I mean, it's a huge difference. So just imagine, rolling, if you're out there in road racing, yada, 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 those little things go a long way because all of this is rotational, I guess forces, acting on it. So yeah, I mean, every little, advantage helps, but at the same time, if you don't really care about that, yada, yada, so you don't have to. But
yeah, this is, I feel like, Alex, this is a little bit for more the advanced, a rider trying to get every advantage they can get,
right,
versus the new rider that's just coming in and learning. This is a little bit down the road,
right,
for those intermediate people.
Now, one thing I want to touch on before anything else, I've had the chance, and I can't remember what bike it was on, but it was a noticeable difference that it stayed in my mind. I just can't remember the bike I actually did it on, but it had the OEM wheels that it came on, and I remember I think we put carbon wheels on it, and the biggest thing, because people are like, oh, can you tell the difference? The biggest thing, at least to me, was the flickability of the bike.
I believe that was your S1K 2015.
Was that it? Mm-hmm. Damn, see, okay. And now that you said, I think that was it. It was more the flickability of the bike, just kind of, be able to go into, I guess, the size, it just felt more maneuverable, was my biggest difference, and I think, that kind of helps, you're feeling the bike a little bit easier to throw around,
right?
So if for people, watching, to say, oh, it's just weight, like, no, it's weight plus, also a little bit on the, feedback on the riding. So that was at least my experience with that, with that big difference or with that change.
Right. Okay, guys. So just to touch base, basically every tire, you need its own PSI from what Alex is preaching over here, and dual compounds, single compounds. Kind of what I'm getting here is you got to basically go out there and find the right tire for yourself.
Right.
We can sit here and talk about, what works for us, but you might not do the same type of riding that we do. So you need to go out there, do your research, and there's nothing better than trying a couple of tires. Try the tire that comes on the bike when you buy it.
Yep.
If you're not feeling that tire, do a little bit of research, try a different tire.
Yep.
Try different PSIs.
Yep.
Because I can't emphasize enough how important PSI is on a bike. I didn't understand how important it was until I ran the wrong PSI at a track. And then I ate shit. So, so it's very important.
No, it plays a huge role. And to be honest, like you said, try it, because don't get me wrong, I didn't start on Pirellis. I started on an Angel GT and BTO16s, which they don't have anymore. I think they have BTO 23s now or something.
What's BTO 16?
I think those are the Bridgestones, right? I think the Battle Axe. Well, yeah, the Battle Axe BTO 16. And I want to say they were like the sport touring tire for Bridgestone, pretty much Angel GT tires. And that's when I first started.
Angel GTs are Pirelli, and then these are for Bridgestone.
Yeah. And that's what I started on. And I started on to where, like, oh, these feel great. And that's why I see where people will say, no, I mean, my tires are good, yada, yada. But they don't go out there and try different tires because they know what they know with what they got. They haven't gone out there and tested other different tires and stuff like that. And that's why whenever I went to Pirelli's, huge difference to me, and what you're saying, I mean, I strongly, agree and advise that. I started on Angel GTs. I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I went to BTO 16s. I didn't know any better.
Until you ate shit at the track.
Pretty much. That's when I knew it was time to change. But don't let that be you, Learn through my experiences. But definitely, I mean, I would say, try different tires. And now, I mean, you go out there and I mean, I hate to say it, but like, back then, to me, I feel like people, I'm not saying they weren't knowledgeable, but I feel like nowadays with YouTube, with everything else,
Information is out there.
Information is out there.
Yeah.
So people are a little bit more, I guess, in tuned with what they got and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I said, you know what you have. Let's say you have a different tire. Well, let me ask you, because I'm gonna feel like you know what you have, and just kind of go from there. Talk to people, and if you see a guy that's fast, if you see a guy that is riding pretty good, ask him what is he running. Maybe he's running a little bit something different than you are, and that's going to be your chance to at least, hey, that works for him. Let me try that for him. Since he could do it. Or he really likes that feedback from the tire or whatever. So that's kind of my thing too.
So, Alex, in closing, what would you want to say to all the new riders watching, and also to the little bit more experienced riders watching?
As far as the tires, I would say for the new riders, always kind of keep up with your tires, PSI, just don't hop on the bike and ride off, kind of just go out there and just put your bike to the test every once in a while, see how it feels, and just kind of fine tune it, because at the end of the day, that is your contact between you and the road. So it's a very important factor that you always have to kind of maintain and be aware of. So just kind of be mindful of what you're running. If you feel it, like, hey, like, it's not, I don't know why I don't like when I do this, I don't like I would do that, do a little bit of research, switch it up. Maybe you just bought the bike and you never had these tires and you don't like them. Well, switch it up and don't just get stuck to one. And for the experienced riders, I mean, I feel like you out there, do your thing. I mean, I don't think I know a little bit more than you guys. I feel like you probably, people out there probably will teach me a whole bunch of things that I don't know. But I would just say, same thing. Kind of. If you feel like you're comfortable with what you got, then I feel like you just hone it in. If not, look at people that are out there being faster than you. See what they're running. Lap times, yada yada. All that good stuff. But I feel like the tires are going to be a huge role for the actual experienced track racers, stuff like that. People. So it kind of I think it works with both worlds. Just kind of see who's out there, who's fast, or who's how can I say it, doing what you want to be doing, and then just kind of copy from there. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I'm an open book. I'm gonna tell you what worked for me, what didn't. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, well, at least I told you. Some people might not be that generous, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. So that's kind of what my advice would be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, another thing I would like to chime in on that is, don't be a brand snob. Don't be like Alex, bro, and just run Pirellis. Try it out. Try out what life has to offer you. Try out Michelin. Try out Metzler. Try out, Shinko's. Try out whatever.
God.
Find out what is right for you. Yeah. Go out, test.
Yeah.
Right. Check your PSIs. Run different PSIs. See where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
That's really the most important thing, in my opinion, on that. Rez, you got anything you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Let's go eat.
That boy said I'm hungry.
About time.
So I just want to touch on something. We talked about a couple weeks ago when Marquez left and went to Ducati. I don't know if you guys keep up with World Superbike, but Jonathan Ray just left Kawasaki for Yamaha.
Oh.
I don't know if y'all knew about that.
No.
That's and Jonathan Ray has been with Kawasaki for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
And World Superbike is pretty badass in my opinion too.
Oh, yeah.
So now he recently hopped over to Yamaha, and I'm real curious to see what he's going to be able to accomplish on that platform.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a menace.
Oh, dude, Jonathan Ray's a beast, dude. That boy's a beast.
Yeah. I think he'll do good.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. Guys, definitely go check out our website, infamousculture.com. Get you a key tag, get you a hoodie, get you a shirt, get you a hat. hold it down, you know, and you never know, you might just win a 2024 ZX6, you know, by getting a little keychain. So
That's it.
yeah, we appreciate the love, guys. When you see us, come say what's up. You know, don't be shy, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.